everybody, the Clear Tai Chi Mastermind meeting for Friday, June the 10th of 2022. This is the Friday following last weekend here, which was a major the Clear Tai Chi Family International Family Gathering for 2022. And most of the folks here were at that gathering. I taught last Wednesday night, Thursday, and Carly taught Wednesday night, my daughter. And then I taught on Thursday all day and then taught Friday. And then Saturday morning, my daughter had a medical emergency and she and I were not there the rest of the weekend, much to both of our unhappiness, but we obviously that will not be the norm. And we're looking forward to being there next year. So, and then the website for that is taichigathering.com. Check it out. We already have great things being planned for you for 2023. It's the first weekend in June. I did not write down the dates here. I know it's like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, right in there for that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you check it out. It was a great event, a fun event. You're going to hear about that today extensively. And with you is me, your resident host, Richard Clear, and Matt Holker, the regional organizer for the Knoxville area. We're here in Maryville, which is like an offshoot or bedroom type of a community for Knoxville, although we have a lot of our own great stuff going on like that. So welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Harry Legg in Verona, New Jersey.
Hello, hello. Thank you. Yep.
Sheila Bell in Costa Rica. She'll tell you what parts.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm in Guanacaste, which is the northern Pacific region of Costa Rica, between Nicaragua and Panama. And I'm at Balance Ideal Tai Chi in Playa Sococo and Liberia. Good to be here.
Art Don in the Washington, D.C. area. He'll tell you what part.
Hello, everyone. I'm in Greenbelt, Maryland. That is 12 miles east of Washington, D.C. Well, thank you.
Jared Blakesmith in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep, thank you. My school is Emerald Valley Tai Chi. I have classes in Berea, Ohio, and Lakewood, Ohio.
Philip Chan in Columbus, Georgia.
Hello.
Welcome. Mark Mashad in Michigan, and he's going to have to tell you what parts.
It's the Midwest Michigan area covering Grand Rapids and Lansing area.
Welcome. Ty Talbert, who is now located in San Antonio, Texas.
You're on mute, Ty.
He knows. Sorry, you know. And Jim Kelly in Boca Raton, Florida.
That's right, Boca Raton. Our Facebook is West Boca Tai Chi, and come and visit, especially in the winter.
Especially in the winter. All right, so today we want to talk about things at the gathering that you guys, what was your favorite, what was a memorable experience for you? Let's start with that. And then the next thing I'll be asking you about is what was kind of your favorite thing or the thing that you learned, because there were a lot of great presentations and that kind of thing. So that's kind of the order we're going to kind of hit it in. And so let's start with most memorable event or circumstances with, elaborate enough so that we know what the story is. And I'm going to start that with Jim because he's going to have to go here shortly.
Thank you. Yeah, most memorable, I guess. I like the application, so I enjoyed Jared and Avi's presentations on the push hands, working with a couple of different styles, the competitive push hands from Avi and then Jared's Yang style. So it was nice to get to put hands on people and learn from everybody.
Cool. You want to go last or first?
Last.
Harry.
Thank you, Sifu. There's so much; it's really hard to narrow it down. So
you can call 2 or 3 as long as they were memorable like that.
Yeah, well, 2 for me. First of all, I enjoyed everyone's presentation, but it really stuck out for me what Ty did, how he led people into doing the form, but it wasn't exactly that. It was you're on the beach and you're in the water, and if you wanted classical training in this, you would find out that this is Wild Horse Tosses Maine or Cloud Hands or whatever. And I just think what a beautiful, amazing way to get people to think and to relax and to just chill with it versus worrying about, this hand needs to be here and this hand needs to be there and all that sort of thing. And so I'm absolutely going to be using that. So thank you, Ty. That was wonderful. And then, of course, yes, I absolutely love push hands. So getting to put hands on with Avi again was a lot of fun. It was well overdue. It's probably been close to half a decade since.
Did he find you to be, so it had been that many years, did he find you to be real different than he remembered from last time you guys put hands on?
Well, he expected that, which, okay, that's good because he knows my training is continued and continued and continued. So yeah, it was really, really good. And I don't know, for those of you that may be friends with Avi on social media, this is because he likes to get real rough and tough and that Lee side, the physical side of it as well. He posted a picture where he put his arm up and showed a bunch of bruises, and he goes, it was a good weekend. So anyway, that was a lot of fun, and of course really stuck out to me. So
what I found with internal, I saw this, and it could be that somebody grabbed some while they were playing and had some grip going in there. But one of the things I found is that when people are not used to doing internal and they play where there's power, but it is internal, they will get bruises like that on the contact points through, like for me, from the ends of my fingers, not gripping them.
Sure.
And that they have to play somewhere between a month, that's like pretty quick, and 2-3 months before doing the internal stuff, while they're doing it, before that quits happening and their body starts processing better. It's an odd thing, but I've seen it longer term.
Sure. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Sheila?
Yeah, I'm going to echo Harry. Everybody's stuff was so great. And I think that's one of the best things about getting together in the gathering is how you can see that we're all in the same system, but there's such a wide gamut of skills that people bring to share. And it was a great opportunity to be in the moment because each class that I was in just was like the best moment of my life at the moment that I was in it. But what stood out to me, kind of, I guess if you want to say favorite, is Ty. It was something that was quite different than what we'd seen before, and so that's why it stands out a lot. And it's also something very useful that I totally plan on taking advantage of, seeing the way he did it and trying to make that a little bit my own as well. And it had to do with stress relief, which is just such a wide application for so many people these days. And I think specifically, the last 2 years have been so stressful for everybody that really, really stands out to me. But I have several things, that I enjoyed a lot. But I would congratulate Ty for his outstanding performance.
Cool. One of the things that you've seen with us longer term, I'm talking about as Clear Tai Chi as an organization, is that there are different ways to do the same moves in the same set of Tai Chi moves for specific applications. And that what you would do for stress is very different than what you would do for somebody that has like low blood pressure and they need that blood pressure to come up, which is not that's not a common one because most people have the opposite problem, high blood pressure that needs to come down. So more like the stress one. It's different than what you would do for the Parkinson's. It's different than but it's the same moves. It's how you're doing those moves and the way that with your body state and your mind are interacting and doing those moves. And so very cool that there's a method that Ty is conveying that is really good since he works so much with folks that have the PTSD and the stress. that there's a method there that is specific to that. And of course, our panel discussion was on this, and I heard that his part of the panel discussion was also awesome and tied right into that. And by the way, and we're looking to make sure that we've got video on everything, because there was some logistical problems on the filming the panel, but the panel is something that we should be making available along with the footage from the different workshops, so that you can see all of these as well. And then of course, we're doing this stuff so that we're promoting for the one next year. Anyways, cool. Art?
Well, first of all, I agree with the two previous people that Ty did an excellent presentation with the overall tone of relaxing, and actually when he led us through a relaxation exercise of tense and relaxing that I found to be the most relaxing of that type exercise that I'd done, the way he led it through. I thought it was great. Thank you, Ty. But I would also like to mention Logan's presentation, which was, for one thing, very different than anything I'd seen before, where he was referring to the esophagus and or not the esophagus, I guess the windpipe, for relaxing it to bring air in more efficiently into the body. Because when we need oxygen, the more efficiently we get it in, the better it is for us. And he introduced that as actually an object or a practice for improvement to release the windpipe and relax it, and led us through some exercises for that I again felt immediate benefit from it. And it was, again, very different than anything. So I just wanted to mention, along with Ty's, Logan's relaxing the windpipe exercises.
Cool. Jared?
Like other people said, it's really hard to pick a favorite. They're all really good. I really enjoyed all of them. But I'm going to kind of echo Jim. I really liked Avi, and I really liked Jared Volker's practicing push hands, and especially, like, not just King of the Hill style, but like, some thought behind it, some technique behind it. And even with that in mind, I really enjoyed your presentation, Mark. I really liked the positioning, and I've seen very similar videos where I see this Tai Chi master go into a fight and he gets clocked in the first 10 seconds or less. And it's kind of like, oh, this is a really poor showing. And, they're just getting, like, park Tai Chi guys to come in to fight someone who's been in a ring for 10 years and stuff like that. And it's like, ugh. But showing that, like, no, this is really very much like it's a martial art, and not just for grappling, but like, straight from the entry. I really liked being able to manage the positioning and get into position. That was really cool.
Cool. Excellent. Phil, I know you didn't get to come this year, so anything you want to add in at any point and weigh in on anything anybody said, or questions for them, or other things that maybe the viewers who didn't get to come would also have at any point, just feel comfortable.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd be interested. I'd certainly be interested if there were any videos of Ty's presentation. I'd certainly be interested in seeing that.
We filmed the whole thing. We'll know more about, but because it was a different situation, some of the video came out fine, some didn't. We've got to process and edit through, and so hopefully we have that. That's our hopes, and I'm gathering from our conversation earlier we probably do, but we're gonna have to make sure.
Excellent.
And I think
Thank
in
you.
class, I didn't think there was a problem with that. It was the presentation on the panel that sounded like there might have been an issue with the mics, with the sound part of the situation.
Yeah, but the class we've got in it was great. And yeah, you should check it out.
Cool. Mark?
I think people covered a lot of good stuff. The thing that jumped out at me, and everything you said is true. I saw everything that they saw. It was really good stuff. I kind of want to touch on the kind of an overall theme that I saw. And when you look at the gathering, a thing that kind of jumped out at me is that it had kind of a universal applicability. So you don't have to necessarily be a clear Tai Chi person to get benefit out of this.
Right.
They had stuff that covered everything from healing to martial arts to the self-defense. You had this whole spectrum. You had from everyday life. Sheila did the one which talked about how to incorporate it into everyday from 24/7, all the way to specific things that would help you in your class. And then you had internal skills, all the way to external application implementation. You had presenters talking about other elements that would be like, for example, you had Avi with the competitive push hands. You had Jared presenting Chen skills that could be implemented into any Tai Chi person's training. So I think that was really the thing that jumped out at me, is the wide range, the breadth and depth of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's about a scholarly, but real world applicable study and approach and information about Tai Chi and Tai Chi training, the art of Tai Chi style. That is kind of the hallmark of Clear Tai Chi, is that we're really doing Tai Chi and not a super stylized Tai Chi as much as Tai Chi. And yeah, so cool. Ty?
I was really impressed by everyone. I really enjoyed everyone's presentation. I think some people caught me having an aha moment, and it was when we were talking about using e-skills, because I have had a lot of experience in doing joint locks and how to either apply them or to escape them. And I've actually trained with some people that if I mentioned one of them, his name, everybody would know who I was talking about. But I trained with him for almost 20 years, and I was trying to figure out how he did something, and you explained it, and I'm like, wow.
Was it me or was it Carly? Yeah,
It was you when you put the E in the foot and the shoulder for doing the joint lock, as opposed to putting your mind into the joint itself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, been looking for the answer on how to improve that for about 25 years. And Jim, you've also studied with him, so you know who I'm talking about and that style.
So one of you said something about too, that in Chad and I's presentation on the health side, that we were talking about along with the fascia and the exercises and kinds of things to do for the fascia, the dietary things that help make everything move better in you, and water. And I've talked to so many of you in the last week, and the stuff with Carly that went on and all that I'm drawing a little bit of a mind fog. But it was that you were drinking a lot of
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino. Was that you?
That was me. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and that you realized that you've been that having one for a little, like a celebratory kind of a drink every once in a while, no big deal. For what you're going to drink all the time, you don't want all that carbonation and all the chemicals and the other things. You want like H2O if you can get it, and that doesn't mean you don't need minerals in your diet, because you do. But that, and so I'll let you speak to that from what you got out of that.
No, I had been drinking a lot of Pellegrino, and I had a problem with gout, and I didn't realize that the two were related. And I just said, okay, I thought I was being very healthy drinking the Pellegrino, and I, stepped away from it. Also, I kind of misspoke when I said Jim, Phil, we trained in the same system, and you would really want to see that specific training because it will improve what we did.
See it and feel it firsthand.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So was it Sifu teaching it? Who was
Yes.
teaching it?
Sifu
Okay,
was teaching,
I'd be very,
yes.
very interested. That's very
That
cool.
was
Thank
building
you.
off of what Carly had taught for the that was on Thursday where it was just ROs only. So
Yes.
yeah. For the more advanced. And then there's stuff that I'll be doing with that publicly, but it's a step. It is leading towards what we did there, but it's a step down because I've got to meet people where they're at. Jim, the only thing before you go real quick, what was your favorite moment? Was it the I'm so pretty or?
No. Hey, I'm not that self-centered. You know what? I think the favorite, and it wasn't really a moment, but to hear the personal interactions of the people that spoke on the open forum about the stress management and Tai Chi and stress, and just realizing how we're in a position to help so many people out there, and I really do hope that it gets out. I know there were a couple of the guys that practiced the acupressure.
No, acupuncturists. We had 2 acupuncturists present.
Yeah. And they were saying that a lot of the people that are coming into them these days are coming in for stress-related ailments and stress-related, seeking a cures.
Yeah, 2.5 years of COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So I think that was, that was very enlightening.
So very timely
Yes.
for all that, both the panel and Ty's class. Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, I have to head out. Thank you.
We didn't get your best, most learning or favorite presentations or that. So
yeah, it's really hard to nail down a favorite presentation.
Or something that you saw that you really.
Yeah, I really liked Jared Velker's thing with what he showed for how to help beginners get into a like Yang style freestyle kind of a push hands game, and how to develop it for beginners to take some of the confusion out at the beginning of the process and step them up. That was very helpful, not just for that game, but also for thinking about in terms of like things that beginners kind of classically struggle with, that a lot of times we as students have struggled with, and then got over a hurdle with it. And then we don't put any more time or attention to that. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you have to bang your head against this wall for a while, but then you'll get on the other side of it. And we as teachers oftentimes accept that because that's what we had to do. But there's always better ways, and there's always smoother ways. And sometimes just a little time and attention into thinking about, different methods and different approaches to get people stepped up. That's the biggest, one of the most powerful things in the Clear Tai Chi system is that it really does have these very logical kind of concrete definitive steps along the way. And everything has been parsed out into those logical steps. And then, and that's been my experience of it, because so much of Clear Tai Chi compared to other Tai Chi is like that, but there's always room for improvement. And so like the Jared's presentation there for the freestyle push hands game, and the way he was getting beginners to that really clicked with me, and like kind of a lot of other areas as well. I was really happy to see that. But they were all great. I mean, I got a lot out of every single one. of the presentations. And what really struck me, there was a moment on Sunday where it sort of dawned on me how much each of the presentations and the topics kind of reinforced each other. So like, people who really want to develop their skill, for different kinds of things, they had the training to develop that, but then they also had like Avi's push hands workshop. And so it's well, if I really want to train skill in like a more competitive kind of way, or I really want to pressure test it, I would do the things from like Harry's workshop and a couple of the other ones, and I would do it in those push hands games. And you could see how, depending on what your goals are in the Tai Chi and what you really want to work on right now, you could kind of mix and match the different presentations and the different skill sets that were being talked about and the different exercises that were gone through, and build a little like kind of a training routine for a whole bunch of stuff. It wasn't just like, each presentation was great, but the whole event was, greater than the sum of its parts in that way. And it really clicked in with, like, it just hit me on Sunday at some point, how all of the different things that each presenter was talking about, without realizing it and without coordinating it beforehand or anything, they all like reinforced each other really, really well. And they all went together really, really well. And the skills from one could be easily applied in another, and, and another and another, and like that. And so I was just really happy with that. I thought, for an event, we never know until kind of after it's done, until after the event is already over, if it was going to, if it appealed more to like beginners or more to seasoned people or more to, some kind of particular kind of crowd or whatever. And what I really saw at this event was that it was very successful for what we intended, which was that it was great for everybody. It was great for people who were brand new. We had people who had been in Tai Chi for less than 3 months who were there, who were just getting tons and tons out of it. And then we had people who've been in Tai Chi for 20 years who were getting tons and tons out of it. We had people who were multiple time push hands champions who were getting stuff out of the other, presenters there. And, it really was, it really is, and I hope it will remain, and we're going to do everything to keep it a great event for everyone who is interested in Tai Chi, whether you've just started or you're thinking about getting started and want to know more about it, or you've been in it for a really long time and just enjoy continuing to do it and continuing to learn and share with other like-minded Tai Chi people. It really is like just a fantastic event for everybody who's interested in Tai Chi. And I don't know that there was, I'm not doing it just, there was a moment on Sunday where all this kind of dawned on me. And I know I'm not describing like the moment as much as what it was that dawned on me, but that was probably like my favorite moment from the workshop, was when I realized that like it really has become everything that we wanted it to be for the Tai Chi community. And so I was really happy. I was really proud of everybody.
And lots of fun.
And lots of fun. Too much fun. Well, maybe not too much fun, but there's a lot of very humorous individuals in our group, and when you get them all in a room together, fun will ensue.
So favorite moment, Harry? Favorite moment or favorite, like something that stands out as being particularly hilarious or extra fun, or that was like just you were super enthused by that thing? And what?
Well, again, there's quite a few, but I think when someone asked Avi about the more rough and tumble competitive push hands, and he goes, "How is that Tai Chi?" And Avi goes, "Come here." And he's moving him around the room and really taking control of him.
You got control instead of just
With
sitting out.
that is right. It wasn't just, brute force of, no, he could feel in. And then after he was done, kind of giving the business to one of our friends, he goes, "Now, please tell me what part of that wasn't Tai Chi." And he's like, yeah, no, that was Tai Chi. He goes, it may not be your Tai Chi, but it's Tai Chi. And he goes, be very careful when you are watching some of these tournament videos and stuff where, you know, a lot of times we do see like really bad posture and things that we know, ugh, that's not optimum. But a lot of times when you see people going at it a bit, he goes, your hand's not in that. You don't know how much they are or aren't feeling into that other person. And so what do you think you're going to do on the street if you're going to use Tai Chi in an actual fighting sort of thing? You need to be able to do it under that level of pressure and whatnot. And that absolutely is Tai Chi. And so that was both a very funny moment and a very instructive moment to the entire group.
Cool. Sheila?
Well, I love the way that things that I've heard and experienced are popping up. I mean, even in such a short period of time, the same moment that Harry just referred to, I actually was watching a movie and there were some sumo wrestlers. And so something that Avi said made me kind of look at sumo in a new way and made me realize, you know, how Tai Chi leaks over into not only other martial arts, but all kinds of aspects of life and movement. And that Jared Blacksmith's presentation on the lower dantian came up in a conversation that you and I had, Sifu. And so that, you know, it's just like, it's like the gift that just keeps giving. So as I continue to practice, I think I'm going to be having, you know, memories about this and the previous gathering. Also, Jared Volker's method for learning how to counter during push hands is going to be super useful for me because that's something that I really need to focus on. And he gave me exactly the right tool that I need at this moment in my development. So that I really kind of glommed onto that because it was just the right thing at the right time for me. So, and I got to tell you, Chad, I think if Chad could turn what he was teaching us into like a week-long seminar, I would go because it was so advanced and interesting. And he had such a short time to share with us how things from Twaina can be expressed in Qigong and can be expressed in Chuen. And I was like, give me more. Like, that was so interesting to me to see that relationship. And I could see how that could also, you know, go into other types of movement as well. So it was just a very enriching experience, all told.
Cool. Art?
I'm going to have to repeat what I said for my, or at least presentations I liked the most, which, and actually, to be more specific, with Tyrone's presentation with the tensing and relaxation exercise, one of my favorite moments was actually when we went through the tensing exercise and released after that. I just had a very good release and just, it was very, very sort of calming and relaxing, more so than a lot of similar exercises I'd done, and even just meditating or something. And again, with Logan's working on loosening and relaxing the thorax. Is that what it is? Larynx. Windpipe. He, you know, got me and I guess others to feel the relaxation there and the increased oxygen, and that I found that very beneficial and helpful also. And I just one of my favorite moments. Thank you.
Jared?
I think for me, it's kind of it's kind of on the periphery of the whole meeting is being able to push with people in between or after. That's something a lot of people who don't come to events, they don't understand how much there's happening other than the event, or there's part of the event, but doesn't have a camera rolling, but there's a lot of pushing that we do. And I got to really enjoy push with a couple people. And Steve and I were just like, we were just giggling like idiots as we were pushing with one another.
Steve Robertson.
Yes. um, During Avi's presentation also, my partner is usually he's able to really kind of push me really easily, especially with internal method. But I feel like maybe I've had more competitive push hands training than him. And so all of a sudden I got it was juxtaposed like, oh, now I know what I'm doing. So that was kind of neat for me. It's kind of like, like, oh, I got to play with this now.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be keeping to making it so that there's a lot of time for that pushing.
Oh yeah.
Like
That's
throughout
great.
the event like that for people that want to do that and or other kinds of things. So yeah. Cool. Phil, anything you want to add, like I said, at any point, this or questions on anybody or any of that. So throw it in there. Mark.
Yeah, there were a number, I guess, of spots. What I do, I have this tendency to kind of feel the room. Anytime I go into a room where there's a bunch of people, I always kind of feel the room. You kind of get a temperature, you get a sense of kind of what's going on and stuff, and so there were certain things I think where I could feel the room change. Okay. And it's because it was the one that sticks out the most, and it's because it was the last seminar, was Jared's. He asked for me to come out and hit him, to punch him.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there was a moment, like a crystallized moment, where when I was hitting him, everybody got ridiculously quiet, like very unsettlingly quiet, and you could hear the thump when I was hitting him. And I swear I heard someone gasp. I'm not sure if I heard it or sensed it, but I positive I heard somebody gasp.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as neutralizing the thing. And there's a number of events where that would jump out, and you'd get a sense of that, where you'd feel like all of a sudden the attention got real focused on what the person was doing.
Cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that moment too, Mark. And then I also
He was the gas. No.
Yeah. No, I also remember when the mood lightened again after they realized that Jared could take it, and then people started having fun with it. You kind of giving it to him in the ribs back and forth and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So is this where you were doing winding internal like that, and so they would punch and you would reroute it, or was this some other kind of a body quality going on?
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be like the swimming. You start with the swimming,
Yeah.
and then you have the redirecting and realigning and dropping it into the ground, and the
Cool.
force. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Ty.
As I mentioned it before, I got excited whenever I had a breakthrough moment, because I've been studying martial arts, it seems like, all of my life, and they've gotten to certain levels on different things, and then all of a sudden I have a breakthrough on a new thing, like when you were doing joint locks. The other place that I had a major breakthrough was with Jared's use of the Dan Chen. I had done some training with that sort of thing before, but he also allowed me to have a major breakthrough on how to use it.
What
was the breakthrough? If you can kind of summarize it.
The breakthrough was that I could go ahead and, using my E, move my Dan Chen, and the movement of that energy, I can move it throughout my entire body. It wasn't just like, I could really focus my Dan Chen and move it and use that energy for whatever else I was doing.
Oh.
So so probably my favorite moment in the workshop, the one that I'm going to be hard pressed to forget, was during Sheila's presentation. Sheila had sort of a before and after demonstration of like focus and attention, and at first it's like being distracted and that kind of thing. And so the first round of things that she had everyone do. She had this, Sheila works with essential oils, and she had a number of her oils with her. And she had this very nice kind of citrusy oil that she had everyone working with. And they were supposed to have these little droppers, and they were supposed to hold the droppers like a couple inches above these little receptacle bottles for the oils and drop them into the bottles. And the catch was that in their groups, everyone went around the group and told stories while the people were trying to get the oils in their bottle. People told stories of times when they like tripped over something or knocked something over or made some big mistake, or had some kind of calamity. And this was like a before and after thing. So that was round one. And after round one, I was walking around and taking care of some logistical things. And Avi Schneier, who's a very funny guy, split off from his group and looked a little distressed. And he's holding his dropper in one hand and the bottle in the other. And he caught my eye and he said, Matt, so my group did round one. What was round two again? And I said, I don't think Sheila has described it yet. I tell you what, she's walking this way. Let's flag her down. And so Avi turns to her and I hear him say, hey, Sheila. So we all went around and told our stories of failure and lemoned the crap out of ourselves. So what's round two? And I just about died. I almost hit the floor laughing. I don't know. He's so funny.
And he got a good resolution to that, by the way.
Right. Yes. But
I'm told.
yeah. And then we did round two. And then my hope for him is that he got a little bit less of the lemon on him when he was doing it like with good focus and attention. And not going around listening to stories of despair and failure, as he put it. But yeah, it was that.
It's the Yeehaw song.
There was a lot of amazing instruction that stood out that I will absolutely incorporate, but that moment I will never forget.
Cool. All right. Any other last thoughts on anything, Harry? Anything that for anybody at home that's listening to this today that they might find it interesting or pertinent somehow, or make them, that would tell them that you just got to be here.
Well, you do just have to be there. I will say I was fortunate enough to have a number of students attend that hadn't really had exposure to you or to our group, and absolutely hands down, everyone said, "Wow, what a wonderful overall group of people, not just our organization and our instructors and whatnot, but everyone that came." And it was just the spirit, the energy, the vibe was just so positive and so good. And they were really, really impressed. And, again, I would just say, when it is for 2023. Already. So put it on the calendar. No excuse. First weekend of June. There you go.
Yeah, and keep updated at taichigathering.com. We are getting everything. We're able to fire on all cylinders this year. There's very little guesswork for us, so we're gonna have that updated like really, really early, still in 2022 for sure. We're going to have that page like all fleshed out. We're going to have presenters scheduled already. Not to say that we won't have some modifications or more presenters to add to the schedule, but you should have a really, really good idea of what's going to be going on in 2023 right away, probably like as you're even listening to this podcast. And so check it out at taichigathering.com. You get all the event information. You can find out more about like hotels in the area. Share it to your Facebook page.
Because it's on the site.
Because it's all on that site. We've really tried to make it as kind of much of a one-stop shop for coming to the gathering.
So taichigathering.com.
And yep, so taichigathering.com, check it out. And get ready and get it on your calendar for 2023. First week in June.
Sheila?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention how fun it was to meet all the people that came out. And I personally was responsible for linking up like 3 different sets of people that didn't realize there was someone else in their area who is also interested in the system. And so that can be super useful in order to find somebody to train with. and just to get to see like the vast variety of the types of people that are in the system. And I just had a really great time with the people who are attending. Obviously, that's what we do it for, you know? Like you say, the teacher's not a teacher without students. You can't have a convention without attendees, right? And I think anyone who would come would find a very agreeable population comes to this specific event. So it's a great time.
Cool. Thanks. Art, did you and Clayton hook up since you've been home? You're on mute.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I gave him my contact information,
It's only been like 4 days yet, so yeah. So
and I mentioned Joanne's sensing hands, push hands meetup Saturday, and he sounded as though he'd be there. So
you may
hopefully-
see him in the morning.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And Art, so the same question for you.
So
in terms of how did you enjoy it and what people might be able to get out of it that you got out of it, or that you saw, or that you experienced, or enjoyed, or
One thing I sort of observed was the sense of acceptance of everyone, that there was a great degree of skill level there, but there wasn't any sense of, oh, I can do this and this and this, and I've been practicing so long, and you know, I have all these skills. And just everyone was sort of working together and communicating and push hands at the various levels, and it was just a good group that could meet everyone at their own level and not have any pretensions, or there was no ego involved. So it was a great experience that way, that the people who were newer there, less Tai Chi experience, for example, just seemed to feel included and as comfortable in the situation as the people who had known each other for years and years and years, and had a higher skill level. It was a good overall experience, I thought, and again, no ego involved or anything.
cool. Jared?
I like the gathering because of the different perspectives. Even though we're all coming together under clear Tai Chi at the gathering, so many people have such a wide variety of training before we come to you, and that really helps have so many different perspectives, even on similar material or the exact same material. Each person's looking at it or getting it or has questions about different things. And so when we play with one another, when we talk with one another, we hear each other's presentations, we get to really feel that different perspective and the value that I think that adds to anyone's individual training. That's what I really, really liked.
Cool, man. Yeah, absolutely. Part of what I enjoy about it too, by the way. Anytime I can get a new perspective on something I know, I'm all about it.
He's the one taking the most notes at the thing normally.
Oh, I bet.
You say what?
And somebody's like, but you already know that topic. Yeah, but I haven't taught it that way. And I see how that's really got a thing to it, because it's being explained a very specific kind of way, or there's this little nuance about it. A lot of times when I'm doing that too, if somebody comes up and they're like, it's fun that it happens, the other senior people come up and go, you taught this last week. I taught this topic. I taught this thing. But there's nuances. There's some things here that are just a little different, or just a little bit more specific in some way, or the people are going to be able to relate to better somehow. You know, it's those fine details that really can make a difference. And when you've got this many perspectives and the different people teaching, I think you can really get that in a different way, and it's going to meet you wherever you're at and help take you to another level of ability and understanding and skill.
Mm-hmm. I also like how it sometimes when if personalities clash, but that other person has a really, really good point to make, that's really excellent for like my ego training. Like I've got to get over my own BS to really understand and accept. No, he just came up with a really good point.
Cool. Yeah, Ty?
I have two things that I want to say about it. One has been said a couple of times, in that I had a student that had been doing Tai Chi for about 4 months, and another student who was doing Tai Chi for over 20 years. And they both got something out of this. They both really enjoyed it. The second thing is, I want to really thank all of the ROs that were there. They treated my students as if they were their students. My students commented on several of you saying that they were very helpful. Okay, I really appreciated their help with some issue that they had, or they appreciated your perspective. And I do thank you for treating my students as if they were your own. Thank you.
Family, it's family.
Yes.
Cool. Mark?
That was the perfect entry for me. This is, it's like a family. It was perfect entry for what I have to say. That was well timed. Last year I noticed, this is the second year I've attended the gathering. Last year, something that jumped out at me was that kind of idea of helpfulness. My daughter was going to be testing with you after the gathering, and was very nervous about the test.
Come up this time.
Last time.
Last time, okay.
Last year, yep. And Sheila ended up spending a lot of time helping her kind of cope with that stress before her test. That really stood out to me as a thing you wouldn't necessarily see other places. The kind of the act of kindness.
Yeah.
And so I was looking for it this time. I was curious, just kind of paying attention. And so, it really, there's a lot of that going on in the room. My daughter, since COVID, we were locked down for 6 months with very little contact with people.
Yeah.
And so she has a little bit of anxiety in large groups of people she doesn't know. And so she was kind of having one of those moments where she was super stressed just because of all the people in the room. And Hannah and Jared noticed and invited her over to work with them because she's comfortable with them. They noticed it. They have to be told they saw it. Okay. And then another instance would be Ty is going to be releasing a book at some point about the stuff his seminar was about. And he's going to be releasing a book on Kindle. And I'm a dinosaur. That's all voodoo to me now. And so I asked him about, well, how can I get an actual hard copy? And he said, well, just contact me and I'll make sure you got one. Because it's not going to be out there like that, I don't think. And then the man of the hour is Art Don. I was with Art Don half the time. He was my partner. And we'd be working and he'd go, oh, you got this thing, what's that? And because I'm riddled with injuries. And he'd be like, well, here, let me take care of that for you. And he did that like 20 times, right, throughout the event. And I just wanted to tell Art that so far it's still lasting. It's starting to wear off a little bit, but usually the 8-hour drive or 10-hour drive just kills me. Everything kind of sets up. And I really felt pretty good the next day after that drive. And I'm positive it was from him working on me. But yeah, just very, very cool. And I just wanted to make sure I said something to Art about that. I appreciated it.
Nice.
We can do it over distance too, so give me a call.
You might get tired of me, man.
Never.
Good practice for what he's up to.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of you have said something along this lines, but along these lines, but it really did strike me how much of an extended family we are, and not just the ROs, but just everybody in our group, everybody who came out to this. You know, we really, the event was a blast. It was a ton of fun. It was, you know, it was a huge success by most standards, and I don't think that would have been possible if it was just a normal event. Like if it hadn't been for the kind of the family nature of what we've got going on here, and that camaraderie and that spirit of sharing and giving and, you know, giving back, all of that really made it what it was in so many ways, and especially because of Carly's medical emergency. You know, that really, by all rights, kind of should have derailed the weekend. But it didn't. It didn't. You know, it was an incident. It was but you know, it was a hiccup for us at the event. Because, you know, because everybody came together in the clutch, and everybody really, you know, it's not like, oh, Sifu's gone, okay, I guess we'll just find out more about that later. Like, we were all very much in touch with him, and you know, keeping in touch with him and getting updates and making sure that we were giving updates to the group. And everybody kept asking about Carly, but it didn't sour the weekend at all. It really just was, you know, it's a thing that happened, and then we all rolled with it, and everybody managed to, you know, do their thing. Everybody was so well prepared that, you know, the presenters got up and did their presentations, and, you know, stuff had to change on the fly, but everybody rolled with it. Everybody came together and supported each other, you know, like you've been saying, and where we saw that, you know, maybe someone was nervous and needed a little extra attention, or, you know, maybe someone was running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to get cameras set up and whatever else, and maybe he needed some help. You know, it could have happened. You know, everybody did what everybody could, and you know, and we all really came together as a group to make it a huge success, and just have a lot of fun with each other, and that's exactly what we did. And if we can do that under these circumstances, I am just dying to see what 2023 is going to bring, you know, with hopefully no such unfortunate incidents in the middle of the event. I have really high expectations for what we're going to be doing with at the Clear Tai Chi gathering going forward, because it is, you know, at the end of the day, we call it a family gathering, and it proved to me this year that that's exactly what this is. We are an extended family in so many ways, and we all feel that. You know, it's not just me. That's what I really got out of this event, is that really the whole group is really coming from that place, and it was really obvious, and it was great to be a part of that.
By the way, thank you everybody for all the prayers and love, and I really do think that made a great difference in her ability to recover from this in the way that she has. Yeah, it was a pretty serious event there. She's had the stuff going on since birth that caused it, but it never had an episode, certainly not one that was overtly obvious like this before. It just kind of came out of the blue. We were standing there getting ready to go have breakfast, and she just fell over. And it went from there. But anyways, thank you.
I'd like to also recognize Matt for being able to sort of seamlessly take over the captain's wheel, and he's very humble to recognize the teamwork, but he really did a great job. And
he's part of what helped save her life too, because when she first went down, he got her turned on her side, and she had all this white mucus coming out that was extra thick, and it was enough that if she'd been left on her back, it might have actually made it so she couldn't breathe. Not that she was getting a lot of the air coming in anyways. At some point there she wasn't, but turn her on side so that didn't block the airway. And then when the first responders, who got there very quick, did their stuff. It just kind of, it was the best we could have hoped for in terms of, you know, for what was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, if it had to happen anywhere, that was the best, probably the best place that it could have happened with you know,
And the
qualified
circumstances,
people
so yeah, right, quick.
that would be there. So we're just very, very glad that she made it through and is back and feisty and all that.
She actually seemed,
Our grandma, who's also feisty, are getting along great. Daddy, well, I'll do what I can.
Sorry, where were you
oh,
at?
just that she actually seemed a little more outgoing today than I'd previously seen her. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not,
I
you know,
was kind of prodding her too to
oh, okay.
you know, because otherwise she'd be just happy to sit pretty quiet.
Yeah, no, I know. But again, just to, you know, add on to what Sheila said, I thought you did a great job, Matt, also afterwards, you know, working with everything. Thank you.
Yeah, so be there next year. You will really like it. It is fun. It's informative. It is game changing. It will take you to another level in your Tai Chi. And
And it's fun.
And it's fun. And the website for that, taichigathering.com, www.taichigathering.com. Thanks to all you guys. Look forward to our further interaction. And I know we'll be getting some soon. And be well. More next time.
Thanks, everybody.